elbows are going to be a little bit higher and your wrists are going to be a little bit lower on this next one. Yep. There you go. There's the position. Okay, training partners. Hey, today we're going to be going over the row to the neck. Okay, so what does that mean? Rowing means we're going to be trying to bias the muscles of the back, and to the neck means we're not going to go into the hips, to the chest, or be doing a face pull. We're going to want to end with the wrist at neck level, and we're also going to want the forearm to be parallel with the cable attachment. This is going to be the main difference that's going to separate the face pull from the row to the neck. With the face pull, as I come through, my forearms are actually going to become perpendicular because the cable is going to be running here, and my forearm's running there from the cable by the end position. Okay? What this is really going to do is shift a ton of load to my delt, which is in its fully contracted position here at the edge of the face pull, and also put a lot of work on the bicep and external rotators as well. Okay? This is not bad whatsoever. It's a great exercise. But if we want to target the muscles right here at that mid-back that are really strong and powerful at pulling that shoulder blade back and locking us into a position to build a very powerful press and explosion of the upper body, we don't really want this external rotation and shift of load to the delt. We want forearms in line with that cable attachment so all of that load just goes straight to the back. Okay, so when selecting the cable attachment, one thing we want to look at with Lily is, Lily, can you hold your arm straight out? Okay, I don't know if you can see this, but this bar will reach her hands perfectly. One thing to note, she can't actually reach the bar. This is super important because we don't want there to be no load at the end position. Lily, you can grab the bar now. Okay, sit back and get ready. As you can see, there's tension on the cable, so there's going to be tension back here the whole time. Okay, as Lily's going to pull, things we talked about before, she's going to think about pulling her hand right up here to her neck. Okay, if you hit your jaw or your ears or your armpits, you're off the mark. So really do your best. You're going to think about pulling your elbows back and in line with the shoulders. Okay, wrist, elbow, shoulder, neck are all really one throughout this whole thing. In this fully contracted position, you shouldn't be able to stick anything between your shoulder blades. You shouldn't be able to pull them apart. You shouldn't be able to slide a credit card between them, and you definitely should not be able to stick your whole finger in between them. Okay? From here, we're going to notice that Lily's forearms are in line with the cable machine, and she's not torqued and externally rotated up. Okay?
That would be like a face pull.
Correct. That would be like a face pull. So you can relax. Okay? So one thing we want to talk about here too is width of the hands. Okay? So we're going to position Lily a little bit differently. So Lily, can you stand up? Okay. Sit back. Okay. Bring your hands very narrow. Okay. So as Lily's going to try to row to her neck with keeping her elbows and shoulders out, do you see how much elbow flexion we got here? And you can't see it, but these shoulder blades are nowhere close to being together. Okay. Lily, grab super out wide now. Okay. Pull. Okay. Super out wide allows a huge pinch in the back. Okay. Lily, can you put this back? Can you turn around so your back is facing the camera? Can you move your hair out of the way? Okay. Grab my hands. Now I want you to watch Lily's shoulder blades. Okay. Do the same exact thing you just did. Okay. Stop. See how much room there is back here? I can stick my whole finger in here, no problem. The posterior delts are actually not even that contracted. Okay, now we're going to go wide. I do the same thing. Okay, that is rock solid. There is no gap in there at all. Arnold Schwarzenegger could not pull Lily's shoulders apart there. Okay, so what we're saying is that you shouldn't always go narrow, you shouldn't always go wide. There's certain applications for each one. For the row to neck, our goal is to hit the muscles along here. Okay? In order for us to do that, really, can I see your arms? The narrowest we can be is slightly outside shoulder width. As we start to become inside shoulder width, Lily, can you row? Okay, you'll notice this is just a great bicep exercise, a great brachioradialis exercise, a really good delta exercise, a fantastic infraspinatus exercise and teres minor exercise, but a really poor rhomboid mid-trap and low trap exercise, okay? So if your goal is to really blow up your arms and have a really big, bolder shoulder appearance, maybe go a little bit narrower grip, a little bit more baseball action. If your goal is to have really strong scapular retractors and a really strong mid-back, go a little bit wider. One thing to think about here is, Lily, can you turn so your chest is facing here? And I want you to grab like a Y position, a Y position, okay? And I want you to row and go until your shoulder blades touch, okay? Here technically could be like end range, but Lily's gonna pull and she's gonna exaggerate, almost like she's having an exorcism and her chest is being ripped apart, okay, as she pulls. Now, is this great posture? No. Is this where you wanna live? No. Is this where you wanna stand? No. Is this what we've been saying to assume the position for overhead pressing or squatting and stuff? No, not really. But what is this gonna do? This is gonna get this to contract as hard as it possibly can. And that is the goal for this exercise. So for this exercise, the row to neck, we are saying go past spinal neutral. Imagine a demonic being being ripped out from your sternum. I want you to think about your shoulders being pulled so far back, they're just gonna split your chest open. Squeeze and feel those muscles turn out as hard as you can, and then go in the complete opposite direction and protract your shoulders as far forward as you can, Lily, and get there. Real curved to exorcism to real curved the other way. You want big convexity to big concavity. If you don't know what that means, you want to bulge this way and then a bulge that way.
And what we talk about a lot in our shoulder exercises is when we're talking to our clients is a lot of times we're just going through the motion. We're like 1, 2, 3, 4, right? I want you to not even think about the next rep and give it so much on this one rep that maybe you can't even do the next one, right? Like you're probably going to be able to do the next one, but what I'm saying is giving it 100% of really going to the full opening of your chest wider than you think you can, because we spend so much time rocked forward in our body that if we don't give it 100% of our all, there just isn't enough power to bring us back into an upright position. And before I start to row, it's really important that my feet are grounded into the floor. I'm creating tension through my legs and my whole body, so I'm not just like flopped. I'm not just chilling here on this chair. Everything is engaged so that when I take my big breath, I'm stabilizing my low back so that when I'm at the end and I do need to lift my chest, it's not coming from my low back. It's coming from the part of my spine that's right in between my shoulder blades, which is why the tits up cue is extremely helpful, because we get into this position where we can actually have thoracic extension, the opposite of what we do all day, and still not compromise our low back.
Lily, you want to grab that handle? We're just going to do a couple reps here for them.
Yeah.
Maybe 5 really big opening reps. Elbows are going to be a little bit higher and your wrists are going to be a little bit lower on this next one. Yep. There's the position. Okay, training partners, if your partner's elbow starts to go too high, force them to stay low. Okay? If your partners are going too, or if your partner's elbows are going too low, they want to keep using their lats, help them out. Put your arms underneath. Create a track for your partner to row against so that you can help them stay in the right positions to keep the tension where they need it.
And if you need to make some weird faces because you're trying to open your chest so far, please go for it. Get your shoulders to move.
If you have any questions, comment down below or shoot us an email. Enjoy.